What's up, everybody, and welcome to the new and hopefully improved, I guess we'll see, version of the Coach's Notes. So some of you may have been seeing some of the Coach's Notes that I've been putting out for the Challenge Monday workouts, where I just kind of go through the workout, let you know points of emphasis, strategies, different things of that nature for those Challenge Monday workouts. Well, my hope and my goal is to try to expand that out and do a video version of the Coach's Notes for every workout. I try to put some of the text in there just to give you a couple points of emphasis, but it's hard to get into a whole lot of detail, when I'm typing all that stuff out. So really wanting to get into doing a video version for the workout each day, and not just go through the workout, but also start to incorporate some tips and some training advice and some different things to go along to help you with your training journey. So if that's something that you think you're going to be interested in, leave me a comment, leave me a like down below, so it kind of lets me know that I'm kind of on the right track. So to get started with our first workout with these new Coach's Notes, we're getting into some half gassers tomorrow. Now, if you ever played football, either at the collegiate or at the high school level, you're probably very familiar with a half gasser. It's one of the most popular conditioning drills, one of the most popular conditioning tests that we have in football still to this day. And essentially what it consists of is you start on one sideline of the football field, you run to the opposite sideline, and you run back. And then you have goal times depending upon, usually in football, it's dependent upon your position. So skill players who are your wide receivers, your DBs, your running backs, they'll have a specific time to make, which for us was always 16 seconds when we used to run half gassers. And then the positions that we refer to as combos, which are your linebackers, your tight ends, your quarterbacks, those guys will have 18 seconds, and then your big guys, your offensive and defensive linemen, those guys would get 20 seconds. So that kind of lines up as a starting point for the goal times that I've kind of put out for the half gassers. So we're going to run 10 of these tomorrow. And what I have written down as elite is that 16-second mark, because if a Division I skill player that can all move pretty well can make it across and back in 16 seconds as a goal time, I think anybody that can do that at that speed is doing really, really well. For the advanced, 20 seconds, so that would clear you if you're big. Look, if you're not a big and you're like, well, I'm 180 pounds or 200 pounds or whatever, understand that those guys that are playing elite level college football, even if they are 275, 280, 300 pounds, those guys are some athletes. So still getting across and back in 20 seconds is still doing really, really well. 24 seconds I have as an intermediate time. I think for most people, that's actually a really solid number to try to hit over and back. And then for beginners, 30 seconds. I think that's pretty generous to get over and back. Even if you're slower than that, you're like, Coach, I'm 35, 40 seconds. The most important piece is have a goal time, especially if it's your first time doing it. Set yourself a goal time of what you want to make over and back. But just keep a record, all right? Right when you get done with your 10 reps, all right? Try to keep kind of a mental track as you're going through. This is what I was at number 1. Maybe here's where I was at 5. Here's where I was at by the end. And then at the end, make you a little log of that, of what your times were. Because with these, conditioning cardio Wednesdays, and then even with the Challenge Mondays, all right, for those of you that have been with me for a while, you know that these workouts, show back up periodically, whether it's, a month, 2 months, 3 months down the road, you're going to see this workout again. All right. And at that point, if you have exactly what you did, 2, 3, 4 months ago, I think the last time we did half gassers was actually all the way back in January. But if you've been training for the last 6 months and you can look back and say, okay, well, back in January, I made the first couple at 24 seconds and then I was around 27, 28 seconds. Well, now tomorrow, you have your goal times already lined up. You should know exactly if you've been training and getting after it. Maybe your goal time is going to be 22 seconds for all 10. And you'll be able to see exactly how much progress that you've made as you go along. So for a lot of these cardio Wednesdays, I'll give you goal times to make, But ultimately, the best goal time is your own times, all right? Times that you've already logged, times that you've already, because now you get to compete against yourself, right? And ultimately, that's the most important thing is if you are improving, all right, that is the most important piece of all of this. The other thing that I really want to mention and make a note of is make sure that you're getting a proper warm up before you get out there to run these half gassers. I've started more recently putting in a daily movement, which is a warm up for all of our lifts throughout the week. I've not started adding those in yet for our Cardio Wednesdays, but you definitely want to be getting something in from a warm up standpoint. Or you can even take one of those previous daily movements. A lot of those will still work really well, even for a run. But just to get out, even if it's a couple warm up reps going back and forth, stretch the hamstrings out really good, stretch the groin out really good, and make sure that you are actually ready to go, all right? Don't walk out cold and just try to jump right into the first one and take off sprinting across the field and back. So make sure you get a nice little warm up, take your 10, 15 minutes, get a little light sweat going, get your heart rate up a little bit, get a good stretch in before you jump into these half gassers. But that's pretty much all I've got for this first one. So like I said, I'm going to hopefully trial and error, try to make some improvements along the way with these. But would love your guys' feedback on, like I said, one, if you think these are going to be valuable, please, hit me a thumbs up or a comment or something, and just kind of let me know that I'm kind of on the right track with this kind of thing. And then two, any feedback that you have that I can try to help improve these and bring value to you guys with these coaches' notes. All right, but enjoy Cardio Wednesday tomorrow. It should be a short and sweet one. 10 half gassers, set your goal time, get after it, and let's get better tomorrow.